righty, welcome to the Not So Real Estate podcast. We're on episode number 6. Number 6. Yes, I'm Reese, and this is
Lewis.
And we have
Kalina
back
Woo.
for a second week in a row. And we have our newest podcast person guest,
Elise.
That's how you say it, not
That's how you say it now.
Elise.
Yes,
Not
Elise.
Elise.
No, I found out.
Cool. Well, Elise, why don't you tell us who you are? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I know all you guys through real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I was in real estate with Blake 8 years ago and thought he was such a great guy. We did a lot of goal setting things together and just super positive. And I went with a different company after a while and lost touch. And then when COVID hit, I reached out to him and we ended up working together. And that was 3 years ago.
Nice.
And it's been great.
Very cool.
Cool.
So, Elise, what is it that you do here at the Shawn team?
So goodness.
What don't you do?
I know,
Maybe that's
right?
a better question.
She does it all.
I don't do any of your guys' jobs though. So no, I've done everything from being Blake's transaction coordinator to property management to helping investors. I did a lot of listing real estate, help buyers, kind of everything with real estate. So that's been really fun.
Cool.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And I guess it'll give away our topic for today, but Elise, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now with the team, talking to us about our fun stuff, and then maybe we can get into all of our topic for today.
Yes. So, one of the things that I ended up studying to help with property management was bookkeeping and accounting.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to school, and in my communications class, I had to take a test that helped me to identify my core talents, my innate strengths. And when I took this test, it kind of lit a fire in me. And I thought, I am so interested in learning more about this, but I just don't have any time.
Mm-hmm.
So I set it aside. And then when I was done with school, I went back to studying it. And I thought, this is the coolest thing ever. It is so fun to understand yourself better, your natural talents, your natural themes, and how to develop them. I was so lit about it. I went to Blake. I was like, we have to do this. I really want to talk to you about it. And just because I was interested in it, just ended up talking to you guys about it. And you were so kind to want to learn about your strengths. And I started coaching people. And this summer, I'm going to get certified to be a Clifton Strengths coach.
Nice.
And it has been really fun.
That is awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elise has talked to all of us, right?
Yes.
About our strengths and going over what we're good at and also what we're not good at and developing what that could be. I guess that's a little bit further down the road, maybe.
No, we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
So basically, this Gallup company that they've been around for about 100 years, they are an information analytics company, information gathering company, and they discovered that they found recurring themes of talent all over the world that could be distilled under 34 sort of umbrellas of concepts, themes. And they developed a test that measures the intensity of talent within all 34 themes. What they found was that there was higher yield, higher return on investing in the top themes. If people poured their energy in getting better at their strengths, they got more out of that than trying to overcome their weaknesses. Okay. So it fits under the umbrella of positive psychology. And it basically is figure out what you're good at, do more of it, intentionally apply it, and you'll be able to achieve results and accomplish your goals a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. So what are some, I guess I can ask you, what are your strengths? What are just some examples of strengths, just to kind of give?
So they have 4 main domains where they've divided the talent themes. There are relationship building themes, and executing themes, things that getting things done, strategic thinking themes, and influencing themes. So what's funny is I don't have any influencing themes, like as far as the eye can see. I just don't have any of those. My top five are strategic, input, empathy, ideation, and intellection. So 4 of those are strategic thinking, and then one of them is a relationship building. So I like to think, and basically I like to help people solve their problems, and I like to connect with people. That's kind of what mine are.
Okay, cool. So how has, I guess this will be for everyone, but we'll start with Elise. Other than coaching people on this kind of stuff, how has like recognizing your strengths and pouring into those changed your life?
Well, it helped me to identify why I was feeling drained. So I love to help Blake because he's been my friend for a long time. And so I went to do this property management. I loved creating the systems for it. That was totally in my wheelhouse, figuring out, putting it together, the design of the logo, the design of what we're going to building from the ground up a business, and designing it and creating the system. I love that. But when it came to boots on the ground, doing actual property management, it was so hard for me to put one foot in front of the other. And it was so drained. And my brain was like, I need Star Wars. I need Harry Potter. I need to escape from what I'm doing right now. And when I took the test and realized, I'm like, hey, why am I feeling so drained? Oh, it's because I don't have the executing themes that help people be good at this job. What I was using was my empathy to connect to the tenants, to motivate me because I cared about them. Okay, I need to do my job because or I care about Blake, and so I need to do this. But as far as like, I didn't get any satisfaction checking the box. That's just not where I get satisfaction. So that was eye-opening for me. It's like, I'm just not cut out for this.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, yeah.
Very interesting. Kalina, what are your strengths?
My
and how
strengths.
has it kind of
So
helped you?
my top 5, probably shocking. One is empathy, positivity, restorative, woo, and developer. And I do want to kind of piggyback on what she said about being just exhausted and really not knowing why sometimes. It's really, first, thank you for being willing to do this, because not many people get the opportunity to like really dive into their strengths in the workplace. People know, just sometimes have jobs and just do it because they're supposed to do it. And I feel like my number one is empathy, and I feel so much all the time, like for people, for projects. I'm just a very passionate person, but in the conversations that we have had, I'm learning that is draining if you don't know how to like navigate it, if you don't know why, like what, I don't know how to explain it, but I just sometimes get too involved, too passionate, I don't think you can be too passionate, but I do just take on the weight sometimes, I think, of other people's problems, their workload. And I'm a helper. I want to help people. And I think that you coming in and helping us really navigate and go through these strengths is very helpful, because I had no idea like what I just thought I'm just so sensitive. But it's really like empathy. Like I just feel things, and I can tell when people are upset. I can feel energy. That sounds weird, but it's so strong in my blood, and it's very draining. So it's been really nice to be able to like, all right, so I always overthink. I think about things like, oh, now they're mad at me, or I said the wrong thing. And you've been really helpful in like, okay, so what's the real, like, let's remove everything and like what's the real like feeling, and being able to work through it. And we've done a couple of situations, and it's just, it makes, but you have to catch yourself. It's something that I think you have to put into practice. I'm a positive, number 2 is positivity. I just don't like conflict. I don't like feeling, but here I am. That's me. But yeah.
And that's why you, well, it's funny because like your empathy is number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like every time you overthink things and text me 2 hours later
Yeah.
about something, it's always about what other people are feeling though. Like it's never about what, or like making sure other people didn't feel some type of way.
It's bad. Like I just want to keep peace too.
Mhm.
And it's like, ooh, I hope they're okay.
Mhm.
Like I hope that their feelings are just fine and everything's fine, which half the time nobody cares. But I do overthink, and I'll probably in a little bit be like, oh, I said too much. But that's just who I am. But I'm learning to navigate that and learning to navigate people's feelings and what the real, issue or what the real deal is, instead of just trying to take on everything and have all these emotions. Yeah.
Rolling around.
So with Kalina, she has empathy, number 1. And in the language of Clifton Strengths, basically they have high emotional intelligence. So they have the ability to read body language really well, almost instantaneously. And so they deduce really quickly what a person is thinking based on their body language, what they're feeling based on their body language. And you feel like you're sort of this buffer, absorber, and trying to help manage the emotions of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it can really wear on you at times. And then Kalina has positivity. So empathy is sort of the emotional thermometer of a room that can tell where people are, whereas positivity is the emotional thermostat, where she has the talent to help elevate the emotions of the room. So those two probably work together a lot. So what are some draining circumstances for you and energizing circumstances for you?
I think naturally I'm just such a positive person. I think it's draining when there is a situation and I feel like I have to fix it, or I have to like make everyone feel good. Like I have to, you can't have a bad day. Like life's too short. And I think that does get draining because it's okay. Like in reality, it's okay. People have bad days. I have bad days. And I'm not always the happiest. Reese can attest to that. But
so I heard another theme pop up. Did you guys hear another strength of hers pop up? What she just said? She wants to fix things.
Mm-hmm.
So what theme? Restorative. Now, do you guys have restorative also?
I have restorative in my 6 through 10.
In 6 through 10. And what does restorative mean for you?
Just, like Kalina said, wanting to fix things, but you have like the eye to, like, say there's a machine, engine. Like you're able to identify what part is messed up and what you need to do to fix it in order to get the engine running again. So I would say something like that. And that was like, Elise said that to me. So I'd give Elise credit on that.
No, I was like, wow, that's
Elise, by the way.
Way to expose me.
And it's so funny that your restorative is more geared towards like work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Whereas my restorative, I feel, is geared towards like people and their emotions.
I feel like you guys both, like at least in like from my experiences, whenever I'm having a bad day, you guys both, maybe it's just because it's me, but like you guys treat me the same way. And maybe, I don't know if that's restorative, but like you guys both go about it. Like you're like nice to me, but you also sort of tease me at the same time. Like, I don't know. It's funny. So it's weird that you say that, because in my opinion, I'm like, oh, they have the same thing, that they treat me the same way when I have a bad day.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
So empathy is a relationship building theme, Positivity is also a relationship building theme. Restorative is an executing theme.
Yeah.
So when executing themes are engaged, it drives you to do. It drives you to fix, drives you to bring back to life something that is no longer working, which is really cool. And our team leader, Blake, has restorative number 1, which explains a lot, right? He has restorative number 1, strategic number 2. So I love to watch those two go in tandem because strategic is a strategic thinking theme. So he's constantly going back and forth between recognizing what needs to be fixed and creating the map on how to get there. And that kind of propels forward motion, which is really cool. Yeah. So can you guys think of an instance where knowing each other's themes have played into your thoughts or your behaviors?
Yes. So when we I give you an example. So, and I think I've shared this example with you already, and it involves you, Reese. It was in Paso Robles. So this is like when we first started to meet, and then I was able to identify, oh, okay, this strength came out or this strength came out. So we had picked up a property in Paso Robles, and we were getting close to closing. This is Bolin. And we were going to meet with the landscaper. And I have, let me pull up my strengths are activator, self-assurance, belief, ideation, and achiever.
Okay, so you have no relationship building themes in your top 5, right?
No.
Not that you can't build relationships, because you're an amazing friend. But just for context.
So my, I guess, activator side, or just like my executing side, we met with the landscaper out in the front yard, and the seller comes out, and the way my brain works is like, oh crap, I have to go talk to the seller so that he knows what we're doing here, or I need to do this. But I was with Blake and the landscaper at that time, as I'm like, my brain's going 100 miles per hour. Reese goes and walks up to the seller and starts to talk to him. And then like, I didn't realize it then, because then the following week I had met with you, and then I realized that how important it is to play off of each other's strengths, because you have relationship building in your top 5, don't you?
Do you have communication?
No, I don't have any relationship.
Yes, you
building.
do.
Woo,
My top 5?
Isn't Woo?
No, I have it in my 6 through 10. I have 3 in my 6 through 10, but my top 5. No, I don't have any relationship building.
What?
No. I have communication and Woo.
Well, you have Woo. I think you utilized Woo because
Woo is
what's
Woo
Woo?
not?
It's winning
Woo
over
is,
others, or winning others over. Is that what it stands for?
In this case, it's the ability to turn strangers into friends almost immediately.
I feel like that's relationship building.
I think it can. So all of these can. There's some overlap for sure.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have a dinner party, you need somebody with Woo at your table, like to help everybody feel more comfortable, more relaxed.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
That's me.
So what Elise just said right now, winning or what was the stranger? The stranger
Woo.
Winning people over.
Winning others over.
Yeah.
Winning others over.
So there I am, like I'm thinking about, okay, not that I didn't doubt you or anything, but like
you did,
because no, just because my activator side just wants, I wanted to go do.
An
like,
activator is all about that starting line. Like the second you see a starting line, you're all about getting there.
So we finished with the landscaper, and then I walk in, and I walk into the house, and you have the seller who was, and just to give background, the seller was really skeptical with the sale, because not with us, but there was another party that kept telling him things that were lies. So right away his guard was up, and I walk into the house, and then he's like laughing at your jokes, and you guys are getting along super well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm like, what's going on? So then the following week I had a meeting with Elise, and I was like, dude, it clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, like you were playing your strength. I was playing my strength with the landscaper. Like it was such a cool, not thing to witness, but it was cool to witness, but then cool to like identify, oh, this is what happened during that situation.
So feeling that shift happen, I mean, do you see, I know for me, it's like I don't just have my top 5. I don't just have my top 10 strengths. I have your strengths. I have your strengths. I have your strengths available to me as we leverage those together.
That's so cool.
I
to
was
see
thinking
That's-
that.
I like
Okay,
that.
I was actually wondering, and maybe this is for another time, but if we could see, like, because I'm between the 4 of us or 5 of us, with Blake included, like, I'm sure we have all 34 at our disposal.
For sure, all 4 domains.
Yeah, yeah. But I was wondering, we should
That'd be pretty
we
cool.
should map
Yeah.
that out.
Well,
to
what's
see, like,
so
we have
what's
some,
so
you know what I mean?
fascinating
whole
is that
person.
Yeah.
you two have the least likely statistically to have in a top 5 is command. That's just like a really rare one.
You have
Yeah.
command in your top
No,
5?
I don't.
Oh.
I don't know why. I
But
have
the
5.
second is self-assurance is the least likely. You have that in your top 5. And the third is significance, which you have in your top 5. So that's just fascinating to me that we have the 2 of you. You're like my first 2 people to work with, and you've got the least 2 out of the 3 least likely themes in your top 5 of all things. But maybe we should talk about 2. The other really cool thing, what were your thoughts when you realized the likelihood that you'll ever meet anybody with your same top 5 in the same order? Do you guys remember the statistics on that?
I don't remember the statistic.
You said like 1 in a million, didn't
It's
you?
1 in 33 million.
Damn.
1 in
that's a great
33
number.
million.
It's-
Oh, 33.
It's
33.
1 in 260,000 that you'll meet somebody with your same top 5 in any order.
Yeah.
But to have the same order, it's 1 in 33 million.
That's crazy.
Much
Wow.
less top 10 or all 34, right?
Yeah.
So you're unique. It's like your own thumbprint,
Go us.
your own fingerprint
Yeah.
of personality.
Yes. What are your top? What are your other strengths?
Yeah, what are your strengths? So number 1 is,
My number 1 is activator.
okay, activator.
Number 2, and then these are in order, I believe. My number 2 is self-assurance. Number 3 is belief. 4 is ideation. 5 is achiever. 6 is context. 7 is restorative. 8 is arranger. And then 9 is futuristic. Where's my number 10?
Do you have futuristic in your top 10?
Mhm.
I did not know that.
He has,
That's rad.
I love contrasting
futuristic.
these themes
Nice.
to understand them better. Yes, you have futuristic
Yeah.
number 1,
Number
yeah?
1, yeah.
And he has number 10.
Yeah.
He also has context. So describe what futuristic is like for you. Reese.
Futuristic. It's like it's like the ability to cast a vision.
You see it,
You
right?
see it, and you see it so clearly, and like you get really excited about it and want to tell everybody about it.
Is it almost like being I know this is the wrong context, but being a dreamer?
Yes,
And
that's exactly. I think, from my
like,
perspective, yes,
you have
I
this
think
whole
so.
vision, and it's just...
But see, but the thing that like they outline, because I got the Cliftons for leaders, so like the thing that it outlines in it is like how it can lead to your downfall is if you don't communicate the steps to get there. So like it's a great example of like when you call someone a dreamer, because dreamers typically they have all these great ideas, right? But then they
No
just sit
action.
in them. Like they sit in them and they see, oh, it'd be great to do this, but they don't like take the steps leading forward to it.
So
Got
who's your
it.
partner then?
This
Who-
fool
Yeah, because why? He's got
activator.
activator.
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
that's why you guys are a phenomenal pairing. Like really,
Yes.
it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
so fun for me to watch.
So, because you said futuristic, you got a plan and stuff. So, I think I shared this with you when we had met. Because since futuristic is your number 1, we had finished having lunch with someone in the Central Valley who's big time real estate investor, and just gave us some like ideas and stuff. And then Reese is always thinking about, dude, we should do this, we should do that, let's do this, let's do that. And like one day he came to the office and he's like, hey, we need to sit down with Blake and we need to write down our, I think you said 3-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year
3,
goals.
5, and 20.
3, 5, and 20. And like, it was cool to see that.
That was the best day
Yeah,
ever.
that was cool to see.
I love that day.
So,
And I can see how Blake would be such a great partner for
Oh my
you.
gosh, yeah.
Because he does have that strategic. So strategic is kind of like, say you dumped a 2,000 piece puzzle on the table, but you didn't have the picture. Person with strategic can look at those pieces and tell you what it's supposed to look like.
And it's cool because like you talked about the combination of restorative and strategic, and I feel like he's able to do that with like the goal setting too, because like I knew that like,
so he's a good filter.
Yeah, he's a great filter because like we did it together, like just us two up in the office, and it was like it was really good, right? And I was just like laying stuff out, but it was just like bleh, kind of all thrown up on the board.
Right.
And then when we got to meet with Blake, he was like,
he organized it
all, but he did it like exactly how I was thinking it.
That's cool.
Like he just laid it out. I was like, and I hadn't even told him, and I was like, dude,
it's so fun
like,
to watch when he gets in that like, so now since I've studied this and I've known Blake for such a long time, I can tell which hat he's wearing by how he's moving. Like, so I can tell when he's like figuring things out and when it's restorative mode. And he's got positivity too. Like he's got some really great themes. He actually has all 4 domains in his top 5, which is, I think that's what makes him a great leader, because he's got the relationship building and, you know, the other things too. So that is so fun.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Have you said your top 5 already?
No, I didn't.
What are your top 5?
I'm going to say my 10 because I can.
Okay.
My first one's futuristic, like I said, and then my second is woo, and then communication, significance, consistency, positivity, competition, includer, connectedness, and focus. Yeah.
I see competition.
Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Where's focus at?
That's the thing I told Elise. I was like, when I can focus when I need to, and I can get it done, but it's definitely my
I'm just
bottom
teasing,
10.
just teasing.
No, I know this is a real thing. I told her, I was like, yeah, but it's definitely not my strongest.
Oh, I think
strength.
it's like 22 for me.
It's
so
probably like 35
don't even
for
worry
me.
about it. So just so people have an idea, your top 5 themes are your dominant themes, and they're so wired into you that it's like breathing. You don't even you can't help but operate in these themes. And sometimes the analogy we use is a fish is the last to discover water because they're just in it all the time, right? You just can't help it. So we learn to develop awareness little by little of when you're wearing that hat, the different hat, different theme. 6 through 10 are also strong themes for you, but they're used a little bit more intentionally. So I have found when I'm using my supportive themes, it's kind of more satisfying in a way. It's like I'm intentionally using this. I can tell, like for me, I've got relator, I've got deliberative. Deliberative is the only executing theme I have in my top 10. And that's the slow one. It's you stop and you risk management. It's like you're weighing the pros and cons. And I find that I pull back into that one when I need to, but it's not dominant for me. I can choose to use it or not. So anyway, when you guys are listing, just so people know, your 6 through 10 are supportive themes and they're more intentional. Do you find that it's kind of fun to use them?
I really enjoyed the top 5. But like this whole thing unlocked for me when I got the 6 through 10.
Totally.
Because it's like more like my 5. I feel like when I read my 5, I was like, yeah, those make sense. Yeah. Like I totally get that. And then the 6 through 10 was like, they make sense, but they're also like, oh, frick, it's game time.
Yeah. Like you're more you feel more well-rounded when you read those. Do you think, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I agree because I have context as number 6. And then whenever I make a decision that's like similar to decisions I've made in the past, context is like making, or just, it's almost like history in a way, right?
Yeah. You have your frame of reference is from past experiences. So you're making decisions, you're thinking through things with that lens of what's historically occurred. But you have futuristic also, which is so interesting. So you can future cast and with the awareness of like factoring in the context, which is really cool.
Yeah. Do I have to stop you from using context sometimes? Like when you're overusing it?
Yeah.
It probably tethers him a bit, huh?
Yeah.
Drives me crazy. Not crazy in a bad way, but like there's times when you like think about something that you've gone through. I'm like, okay, we don't have to worry about that right now.
Yeah.
It's like a heat check.
Yeah, there are times. Yes, you do stop me a lot, but I will say you have helped me utilize my futuristic strength more. So yeah.
Gang.
So question, like, so how we were talking about how it's very draining, like to have like empathy in our, like, do you feel drained with
What is
yours?
training for you? Yeah.
With your top strengths, like, is there something that you feel like one of your guys' strengths that maybe like drives you a little crazy sometimes? Like you need an outlet, like either of you, because I'm just curious, because empathy for me is so draining. Like sometimes I have to go home and just shut my brain off and pretend like I'm somewhere else, like read a book or something. I don't know if there's like something like that for you in your top. But
I would say that I don't know. I feel like that's not just me though. I feel like everyone just like you've just like exerted a lot of energy talking to people or like connecting with people, and so you just have to like reset.
Right.
So that would be my answer. Would be because I have communication there, right? So like I feel like that's everyone. You just kind of need to step back for a little
And do a little reset.
Yeah.
My strength that is training is probably activator, because I like to do. Like I was talking to Lisa one time that we went to Folsom, and bless you,
Prison.
Caleb sneezed. Everyone, just for reference.
Bless you.
We went to Folsom to go drop off a check, and like we were doing something that we needed to do to close a deal, but it was a 3 or 6 hour car drive, and I felt like we did absolutely nothing. But what we did was extremely important.
Right.
And it drives
Top Golf.
you didn't have to share that. We also went to Top Golf. But because I like to do that, it drives me insane when like it's draining when I can't, or then even when I like am doing a lot of things, it is draining, obviously physically and like, mentally. But is that like a blind spot?
So I will say, okay, so every theme, your strengths, if they don't get to engage, they get restless and it feels draining. So this is like the textbook, which you almost quoted it. It says for activator, this is situations that are soul sucking for activator. Waiting around for projects or people to start what you've been talking about. Wasting time when you could be getting things off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see.
That's good.
Your number one is futuristic.
Yeah.
Let's hear what's draining for a person. An environment stuck in the past. Contentment with status quo. Like so being in an environment, if you worked at a place where they were not interested in change, not interested in growth or new ideas.
That's all we do here.
That's all. Yeah.
Change and grow.
Change and grow.
Every year.
Yep.
Something. Good things though. Good. Not in a negative way.
Yeah.
So it's not a weakness per se. It's when you're having to restrain what you're naturally good at. You don't have the opportunity to flex it. You don't have the opportunity to exercise it. It's like it feels restless.
It's like if I weren't able to do push-ups every day.
So contrasting, totally. Contrasting that, if you are stuck in a situation where you have to use a strength, a theme that's not very high for you, that's where it's truly draining, like mentally, emotionally. Yeah. When you're just not designed for that.
So
mine would be activator.
Mine is focus for sure, because focus. Wait, are you saying it in your bottom 10 or your like bottom 34? That's when you get drained.
Bottom 10, 15.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because like when I use focus a lot, it brings me joy. Like it fills me up. Like when I have a checklist of stuff to do and I check the checklist off. Yeah. It brings me joy to get that done, but I'm exhausted. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we're similar in that area. I'm curious.
I'm my own person. Shoes on my feet, I bought them.
Hey, should we?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Kalina has not yet.
Oh yes.
Discovered. Anything beyond her 1 through 5, and we just got it, and she doesn't know what they are.
I'm nervous.
Okay, so her top 5, as she knows, are empathy.
Don't look.
Positivity, restorative, woo. She's such a great friend maker. And developer, which I love developer about her because she invests in the growth of other people, and I love that.
Yes, she does.
Let's hear what 6 through 10 are.
Oh, snap.
Belief, which is an executing theme. I love belief. I feel like it's a fire lit in people, and it propels them to move. Number 7, arranger. Arranger, that's the talent for taking what's there and arranging it in the best way possible, or rearranging too.
Mhm.
I
Not
see
nec-
that.
Not necessarily coming up with new, but taking what's there and making it
Work.
a better. Responsibility.
Oh, really?
You are
Yes.
responsible, aren't you?
Includer, which I
Mm.
love
Oh,
about her.
I do. I do.
Communication.
I have that too. I have that one too.
So that's her top 10.
That's fun.
Is includer 9 or 8?
9.
Oh, I have includer 8.
So in your top 10, you have 4 executing themes,
Wow.
Nice.
and you have 4 relationship building themes, and 2 influencing themes, which are really fun.
And no strategic thinking
No
anywhere
strategic-
on
And you
the
know what?
list.
And that's okay, because that's when you partner, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any of the executing themes, so I'm good at coming up with a system and handing it to somebody
Not me.
doing the figuring out part. Do you want to know what your bottom,
hard for
your number
me.
34?
I would love to.
What do you think?
You did your 34?
She had 34.
I want to do it too.
Okay, number 34, individualization.
What does that mean?
Individualization is fair, means custom tailoring it for a person, versus consistency, which says fair is the same for everybody.
Where's consistency for her? If that's her bottom.
19.
Interesting.
So it's a supportive theme
okay.
for her. Number 33, focus.
Lol.
I told you guys. That's like the worst. I feel like focus, now that we're talking about it, like exerts a lot of energy from me.
Totally. And it's not fun. So that's how
No.
you can really tell if it's not a strength, is like you get it done and you're sad.
I think
Like-
anybody could tell you that focus is not my
hit my head on the wall.
not my strength. I'm glad you guys have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this is what I recommend doing.
Okay.
You get your Clifton Strengths 34 report. You start at the bottom. You read the description and you're like, no, this is not me whatsoever, ever. Like, I'm just not that. And you go one by one and you'll get to one, maybe like around 26. And you might be like, maybe. Yeah, I can see
What's
that.
her 26? So we can see her
Sometimes.
response.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, 25 to and then you're like, oh no, yeah, I like that one. I remember when I used this one. So she's got futuristic number 20. That's a supportive theme, likely for you. Ideation. So you've got a lot of strategic themes in your supportive themes. So that means that you can intentionally use them. So number 13 is input, which don't you see that for her? She is our marketing person. She creates systems. So input is all about creating systems that make work happen better.
That's so interesting. So like what you're saying is like my top are just like so much fun, and then
So much fun.
and then like I can get to work when I need to.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Woo!
Yeah.
I got woo.
Actually, that is completely true. That's like how I would look at it. Like you are your people's initial interaction with you is fun, warm. You're my new best friend.
Oh, I
And
like
then
that.
6 through 10 is, okay, now I got to get my work done. I only have an hour left after we've been talking all day.
wow.
I feel like that is part of, like, I feel like that, yeah. Because
I
there are
know.
times you're like, we're all having fun. You're like, okay, I need to get to work, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. And then I'll put my
sometimes she does
headphones
it,
on.
and sometimes she doesn't.
But I have noticed, like, so I mean, Reese is really friendly and stuff, but I like having conversations with Lewis because I feel like it's a little bit more to pull out. Like, just
You
like,
don't like having conversations?
no, you're
That's
just
what I
easy to
got from
talk
what you said.
to. No, like
You made it sound negative.
No,
Just
you're
say,
so
"Hey, yeah,
easy to
Reese is
talk
great. Easy
to. And I feel like we recently, since he moved in the office, I've had more conversations with you. But I feel like it's a little bit more, not saying this in a bad way, but more like work.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Try to have like
effort.
more effort. But I feel like,
Well, Reese is more
Pulling it out.
transparent.
yes.
Not in a
Yeah.
bad way.
No,
You shine that light. Like,
True.
here I
Yeah.
am. And then,
Here I am, Lord, send me.
yep.
But I love it. And but you can tell like that's not in his top 5.
You made it sound so negative.
I know, I don't mean it in a negative way though, but
You
it's,
say, well, Reese is great, but Louise, I was.
No, it's just
No,
your.
I communicate. My no, I don't know. Does that relate to it? No, never mind. Sorry.
Hey, can we talk about raw and mature themes?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, let's
that'd
do
be
it.
awesome.
So the raw form, so you get this report and you have your themes, and there are really great resources to help you to see this is what a theme looks like when it's mature, when it's developed. This is what it looks like when it's not. And I think the funniest thing is I had my kids take it, totally eye-opening for me as a parent. I have loved knowing what my kids' themes are. It's been really great because it's almost like they're so unique, and it gives them permission to be them. And I don't feel like I need to change any of those things. I don't know, as a parent, it's been helpful. So I sat down with my 15-year-old, Abby. She's got restorative number 1. She has woo. She has communication. I can't remember her other ones. But what was funny is we're going through raw and mature. It's like communication. Raw is you get in trouble for talking a lot. She's like, oh yeah, totally. All the time. Every class. I'm always talking. I'm always in trouble. And then restorative, when it's mature, I love it because you have the eye for what's broken and you know how to fix it, and it motivates you to do. When it's raw, you have an eye for what's broken, but no desire whatsoever to do anything about it. And she's like, yeah, that's totally me. So she just complains all the time. And I'm like, it gave me patience with her. I'm like, no, she's not just negative. She's just raw form of restorative. She's going to be a powerhouse individual someday. I love how she changes culture. Like, she changes things. She has an eye for what's broken, even in like social circumstances. She's like, nope, I'm gonna make it better. And I love that. I love that I can see like the potential of what my kids are gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this little sneak peek. This is what the mature form of them will look like, you know?
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
it's really
so
fun.
it's like, how do you find out what it, like, where did you see the raw and mature? Or is that just, you have a book or something?
I've got there's tons of resources online. Clifton Strengths, man, they are such a vast library of reports, documentaries, documents, videos, podcasts. They just a wealth of information.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
I do have a question. I don't know
Sure.
if it's off topic. Maybe it's in the same topic. But have you guys practiced strength spotting in other people?
I'm not good at it.
No?
I know,
Like-
I can see so is it like you just see someone you don't know and you're just like, oh yeah, they have this strength? Is that what you're referring
Yeah,
to?
you're like, oh, okay, they're using ideation or
yeah,
like
no, I can't do that. But I can see like you. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, he's doing that. Because
But
I
not
know
like
what
a
they are.
stranger.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts.
Mm.
So if you get familiar just one strength at a time, then when you're out and you meet somebody, can you see the value of, even in a work scenario, like a real estate scenario, you're meeting a new client, you're meeting a new seller or whoever, and you can tell within the first 10 seconds, this guy either doesn't have relationship building themes high, or he does, or this guy is totally communication or whatever. It kind of gives you some understanding of how to communicate with them, right?
I feel like I
Oh,
can
that's
probably
good.
see the these four, like what strengths they're heavier in, whether they're heavier in executing, influencing, or relationship building, and strategic thinking. I could
Yeah.
probably do that.
I have a book about communicating for the domains. I use that. I actually kind of figured that one out in my marriage because my husband he leads with executing and I lead with strategic thinking and relationship building. And I figured out kind of early on, I don't need a big story to tell him. I need to get to the nitty-gritty, the clearest steps. This is what we need to do. And otherwise, it's frustrating for him. And then other people, I can't talk like that with them. I need to ease into it, give context, give a story, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it really is helpful.
Yeah. Okay.
Strength spotting, I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it, and I utilized it when we walked the 10 plex that we have in escrow. So we walked the 10 units that we have in escrow, and I was getting nervous because we had to go into everyone's unit, and even though they agreed to let us in, it just sometimes just feels a little off because you're going into their place and looking at it, and you just care about how they feel, right? So the property manager, I sensed that she had one, empathy because she allowed us to go in. And then also, I feel like she had a little bit of woo in her because the minute she felt like she could trust us, because I don't know if this is a strength, but like adaptation. I feel like I can adapt. Like if you're feeling something, I can.
Adaptability
Yeah,
is a strength.
Is that a strength?
Let's see what he's got.
Adaptability.
So I was, yeah. So I feel like I was at like mirroring her energy and stuff,
Okay.
which really helped. But I sense that I think, and maybe I could be wrong, but I think she had empathy and boo, because she for every unit, remember she introduced everyone, and everyone was super cool about us going in there.
Mm-hmm.
We got everyone gift cards afterwards. Throw it out there.
Yeah, we were
like,
nice about it.
Huh?
They said we were nice about it.
Yeah, we were nice about it. But yeah, like even just situations like that, it's been extremely helpful because I feel like back then, if I didn't know about this stuff, all I would think about is, okay, I got to get in, get out, take as many pictures as I can, take as many videos as I can, and then like that's it.
Yeah.
Versus like it was more intentional. Like we were asking questions. Oh, hey, is that a pool in the back? Does everyone go back there? Or tell us, she told us about her life and how long she's been there. Like it was really cool.
Oh, that's a
So-
clue right there. If
Yeah.
she's telling you stories, she probably has communication
Yeah.
high. Communication, they're storytellers.
Yeah.
That's me. I storytell all the time. I'm good at telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Get the heck out
Yeah.
of here. Some
Yeah,
people
I
are
love
insulting
that.
me all
I
day.
love that you're
Whatever.
able to do that.
So
Strength spotting is
yeah,
fantastic.
that was
Nerd.
cool.
I don't think I'm very good at it. But I don't think I've really tried. Sometimes I just think, oh, that person doesn't want to talk, or they have like I don't know.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So, what would be since you are high empathy, so you read body language,
Yes.
what do you think body language of somebody who's more of a strategic thinking domain person? What would be some of their body language?
Resting face.
Resting face. Honestly, that's
Seriously?
true.
Resting
They're
what
int-
face?
Rest-
Just kidding. Don't answer.
Oh, okay.
they're internal, right? They're almost like looking at.
And that's mean to
Something.
say, but I really feel like some people just they don't have like emotion on the outside, and it's I can pick up on it very like quickly, and some people just know, but and then even when they talk, it's just like, okay, well,
Can you
this might
not
be a
talk
little hard.
anymore?
This might be a little hard to pull
Well,
stuff out.
that is the
but-
interesting thing about a lot of strategic thinking. They don't require another person and outside anything to operate fully, versus a relationship building theme requires another person executing, tends to be like external energy. There's like more energy happening, whereas thinking is just all internal.
That makes sense. Yeah, and well, this is good because I don't really think about it too terribly much, like strength spotting in other people. But now that we're kind of getting into it, it's like, okay, that's just not their strength. Like they're in their top 5. And
Yeah.
that's okay.
Maybe like if a person has a lot of relationship building themes, do you notice if somebody does, like they have this kind of from the center of them an energy that wants to like reach out and connect with you?
Hug you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even just their energy is like looking for you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So maybe start with one domain, one theme a week, one domain a week, build little by little. And what would the value of that be, do you think, for you?
I think you said patience with your kids. I think that would help a lot. I mean, maybe not with the raw and mature, but I guess adults. can
patience with
have
people, yeah.
patience with people instead of just wanting to slap them because they're acting silly. But yeah, I think patience.
We have the 2 great commandments, right? Which are what? love
Love
God,
and love others.
and love others. We have this commandment to love other people, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing that I have discovered, if you learn to love all 34 themes, whether they're dominant in you or not, if you love all of them, then when you spot that theme in someone else, you automatically love that aspect, that gift in that person that God gave them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like this bridge to love other people. I think
Yeah.
it's, for me, that's been a really cool
Yeah.
experience.
Okay.
I've experienced that.
Yeah. Can I ask
So
you a
someone you
question?
might struggle with.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You've seen Marvel movies, right?
Yes.
Have you watched all of them?
I think so.
Have you seen Infinity War?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think Thanos' top 5 strengths would be?
Oh, so fascinating. I know this sounds crazy. Belief, number one. So belief is an executing theme, and it drives a person to move forward. And it is that fire lit. It is their purpose. Like, they don't move outside of that. I think he has relator really high, because relator is a relationship building theme, but it's selective. They choose, it's kind of a one person at a time connection. And he has that with his daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he has that. I think he's got potentially restorative high, because he's trying to fix the problem with the universe, and this is his way of doing
Solution.
it. And he has futuristic. That's his vision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, but I really appreciate that you're just able to name those off,
Right?
which
I was
is-
just
that
thinking
was
that.
like- I was like, that was really good, dude. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not like you were just throwing them out. Like you had good.
No,
I
I
don't know,
really
was
think-
very impressed.
Well, because here's this like,
Okay. Cool.
Oh,
okay, so I think the fascinating thing about the character of Thanos is that, I mean, he's got this vision and work and purpose to destroy half the universe, but he loves his daughter.
Mhm.
And that, like, take away all of the negative side to him, he is like he loves that girl. And I mean, I've never really thought about it till right now, but yeah. I would
Yeah.
peg him as relator number 3.
That was his movie. Like he was the main character of that movie for
And
sure.
now I have an idea, because I have ideation number 4
Mhm.
of t-shirts that have characters on them and what their top 5 would
That
be.
would be awesome. Yeah.
And so if you happen to match that character, then you could, like, that would be your shirt.
yeah. Like, what would Jesus's be?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've done this deep dive.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Okay, I think God the Father has futuristic super
I was
high.
gonna say futuristic. I'm a little bit biased because it's my number 1.
No,
Ooh.
he's like,
But-
let me show you what I can do.
Yeah.
Let me show you what my vision is. Like, I
Yeah.
totally think he's futuristic, super high. But I have been studying him with empathy, because I have empathy high, like Kalina does, and I'm telling you, it's debilitating sometimes. Like you need to escape it. It's we dissociate, we want to disconnect from our bodies sometimes, because we can't help but feel the negative emotions that other people are having. I am
Stinks.
fascinated by the Savior's ability to stay in it
Mm-hmm.
as long as the other person is.
Mm.
He does not avoid, he does not dissociate, he does not dismiss the emotions that other people are experiencing. He stays in it with them, and
Oh,
then he's
that's
got
good.
restorative really high, so he knows how to fix
I
it.
think he's even there I think he's still like that when they're not in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But like, I'm thinking about moments where I disconnect,
Yeah.
where I've got a threshold. I can only handle so much.
Right.
And then I'm out. And then he's like, nope, I'm going to stay until I fix this with you. Like Lazarus and the 5,000. He was already mourning the loss of John the Baptist. He was already experiencing his own emotions. And yet he stayed with the people. He healed the people. He stayed with it. I just think his tenacity to not ever dissociate from his own body, like, that's an incredible ability.
Good.
Yeah. It's really good.
So, do you think, maybe going off a little bit, but like, I'm interested to see what my husband's are, because we are complete opposites.
I can tell you he's high in strategic thinking.
I believe that. And I'm just curious, like, do you just opposites
Have him take the
attract,
test.
right?
You know what? Okay, so my number 34 is consistency. That's like my husband's number 1. And at first that made me sad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, we are so different. But because I love all 34 themes, it changed the way I looked at him. Like, no, this is a resource now for me that I did not have before.
Mm-hmm.
I can delegate all of the tasks, all the aspects of our family life that require consistency. I have trust and assurance. He's going to do a great job with that.
That's good.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of just expands your talents.
Yeah.
It's yours and his together as a family, because now your family team, these are your resources. Like Carson, my son, my youngest, guess what? Woo, very high for him. Significance, very high for him. And now that's a family resource that we have.
Mm-hmm.
He's the person I put, because I have a lot of awkward people in my family, me being one of them. So when we have new people, I always feel assured that he's always going to make the stranger feel welcome.
I like that.
That's cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
There was a 50-50 chance right there. I thought you were going to say, what do you think Taylor Swift's top 5 are?
I
genuinely
not.
did think you were going to say that. I was
What do
like,
you think?
I wasn't even going to bring up Taylor
What do you
Swift on
I
this
think
one.
Taylor
Yeah.
Swift's top 5 are? Oof.
She's
I mean,
a go-getter.
connectedness. She connects with a lot of guys, right?
Stop
Oh my
it.
gosh.
So connectedness is not necessarily that. Connectedness is the ability to see relationship between all things,
Okay.
like spirituality
Yeah.
or having like a bird's eye view and seeing patterns.
Mm-hmm.
But you have self-assurance really high, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean for you? How does that show up for you?
I haven't put a lot of thought into self-assurance. Can you remind me what self-assurance means?
Sure. So self-assurance is inner courage
Mm-hmm.
to move forward with your idea. You don't necessarily need validation or confirmation from outside sources. You have that within yourself. Once you have that idea, you have that inner courage to move forward with it.
Okay, so I can answer that. So my self-assurance, I notice, comes out when my self-assurance is correlated with my belief.
Yes.
And
There might be statistics where those two tend to go together.
but I've noticed that it, like the way you described it, when I'm in that state, it has like I feel like my belief is coming out as well too. Like, this is what I believe in. This is, I know it's gonna work. This is how it has to be, like that.
I think that you work with that with Activator too.
Yeah.
Like
Activator gets him going. Gets it started faster, maybe.
Like when someone tells you something different,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, watch. Like you believe it and you believe that you're right. And then you do it because you're like, well, watch me.
And who does
Hmm.
that sound like?
What?
Taylor Swift.
I'm Taylor Swift.
You are Taylor Swift.
I mean,
right? I mean, think
I don't
about
know
it.
much about Taylor
She's
Swift,
got to
so
be
I don't
pretty
know.
high in self-assurance, because think about all of the garbage that she's been handed. She's like,
True.
nope,
Like
I'm
Kanye.
still, this is me, I'm moving forward, right?
that's what I'm doing.
I don't know. I think she would have to have self-assurance pretty high.
I feel like to be a celebrity, you probably, like in general, because there's, I mean, others have it worse
Yeah,
than, some
but
people have
how
it worse
she
than others,
handles
sure.
it versus how other people handle
True.
it, she's got a lot of poise.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's just
That's
a
my guess.
go-getter. Like,
I should ask
she
her just what her top 5 are.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about calling
We
her.
should
Oh, you
tag
just
her.
saw her
We
a
should
couple
tag her.
months, like last month. You
I
should
did. I should have
you
asked
should
her,
ask
huh?
her.
Yeah.
So since we're
Hey,
all
Taylor, what are your
Top
top 5 strengths?
Like that's the poster. What are your top
What's your
5
top
Clifton
five,
strengths?
Tay-Tay?
so
I
Should
wasn't
go by
gonna-
Tay-Tay? I don't know.
For the record, I was not going to bring up Taylor Swift on
I
this
did it for you.
podcast.
I did it for you.
I mean,
since we brought up Taylor Swift and you got to choose Thanos, and I had someone in mind, and I was like,
Oh, do it.
50-50.
Who is
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
I wanna
tell
know
me.
who it is.
And I'm kind of embarrassed, but what would you? Have you guys seen Nacho Libre?
Oh, I love that movie. Okay, but which character?
Nacho.
Nacho Libre. Okay, what do you think?
I would think it's top 5. Achiever.
Yeah. I can see that.
At least I picked a serious character.
No,
He
no,
helped
I love
Oh, yeah.
Nacho
This
Libre.
is good.
What is he? What is the other guy saying?
This is how you can
all
self.
the orphans.
Come again?
Achiever.
Yeah.
Belief. Activator, because like even though he was wrestling, it was frowned upon. He was like, "I'm doing it for a good cause."
I think significance is thrown in there too.
Yeah, significance.
Tell me about significance.
Oh, you're looking at me.
Yeah.
Significance is I feel like
It's an influencing
it's
theme,
an influencing theme,
which
I feel
means
like,
getting people on board with your
yeah,
idea.
you tell people about it, and I feel like Darth Sidious from Star Wars had high significance, the Emperor Palpatine. But anyway,
Why is that?
he was just convincing. Like when he talked to people, like I felt like he was able to both
Persuade.
as Emperor Palpatine and as Sidious, like he was able to like win people to his side.
I think that was strategic talking.
Yeah, probably.
So significance is all about impact. People who have this influencing theme of significance. He probably did too.
Mhm.
They need to be seen. They get joy and just a sense of self from being on stage, from getting positive feedback from people. And I think it is a really powerful strength to have because it does create impact. Without it, things would not happen. So Nacho Libre, I really think significance was a big one for him because he needed that. Like, he needed to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the guys that had the fancy clothes and free creams and lotion.
Oh my God.
I think about the point where he says, "Do you remember that one time
Yeah.
Oh,
when the whole crowd was screaming my name?
Yes,
and then it's-
And I used my
significance.
strength and ripped my blouse."
Yes.
yeah. Then Escalante walks in. He's like, "Yeah." Then they knocked you unconscious.
Conscious,
All right.
all right. Oh,
Okay.
belief. Totally.
Weird
because-
fact. I've never seen Nacho
Oh, we are
Libre.
doing
Really?
That's happening.
Yeah,
That's happening.
we need to see.
like right
yeah,
now.
you need to see that.
I know.
But-
I've been told that before.
Okay, but belief, because what does he do? He believes that God is the way to win, and to the point where he forces Stephen to get baptized,
Have you not been baptized?
right? And belief where he trusted that that eagle would show up, the magical powers.
Yeah. Yes.
The eagle egg.
Come to me.
Come to me.
All right, we gotta watch
I
it.
can
Yeah.
quote that movie.
That's
yeah.
happening. Okay, one more theme for Nacho Libre though. Like, there's got to be
So we have significance,
belief.
belief, activator.
Oh yeah, we
achiever.
said. Oh yeah, you said it. I told. Yep,
And we
100%.
well, one more. It would be 5, right? Or is that
Mhm.
5?
I think that's good enough.
Yeah, that's good.
4.
That's good.
You got it. Okay, Kalina, who's your
Yeah.
character?
We did Jesus.
We did Jesus. That's right. That's right. That was
Who's your
really fun.
character?
We
Jesus
really
and Taylor
covered the
Swift.
gamut.
We really
did we not?
Thanos, Nacho, Jesus.
Yeah.
Taylor
you-
Swift.
Have you,
Taylor Swift.
have you
Yeah,
chosen a
done
character?
I don't
character?
know. I don't know. Let's pick a cartoon.
Okay.
SpongeBob.
Oh.
Can't help you on this one. I've never watched it.
Really?
Yeah, I've never watched SpongeBob.
Oh, then let's not do that one.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, let's go with it. You guys can do it.
You really never watched
Yeah, I've never
SpongeBob?
watched it. I'll just chip in sometimes.
I
mean,
don't
he's
even
yellow,
know.
so that's got to speak for something.
I just don't know how realistic of a character this one would be to do.
Because he's a sponge.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, if I pick one, let's pick one theme. I would say includer.
Oh. Yeah.
Includer just has this awareness. They have this sixth sense of people on the fringes, and they hate people being excluded, and they love to bring everybody in. And I think he had a special talent for that. Nobody was outside the reach of SpongeBob.
All right. Well, Caleb's telling us to wrap it up. All right. So, Lyrical Royale. Woo! My favorite part. All right, Elise.
I don't even know.
Elise.
I don't
Elise.
know what this is.
All right, so this is what we do. We just basically read off lyrics that speak to us, or maybe they don't. Maybe it's just a lyric. Maybe it represents you. Maybe it doesn't. But it could just be
You just say them?
You just say it.
Okay,
Yeah.
you start.
No, I want to go last. Kalina, why don't you go first? Because you've already participated. Or do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, go first.
So today I have, it's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Friday. Getting down on Friday. Everyone's looking forward to the weekend. Why are you laughing?
Is that? I think I know who that is.
Why are you laughing?
That was a great song, like back when I was in 5th grade.
It was never a good song.
Oh, I watched the
Who
music
sings
video
it?
a couple
It's
times.
Friday.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. All right.
It's Friday.
You want to go first? Do you want to go next? Or do you want to go next
I
to
think-
Elise?
Louis should go.
Okay, Elise, go.
This lyric is a reference to how this week has been going,
Okay.
because it's been a great week. So it goes. So it's by Nas, not Nos. My bad. Wow, I really butchered that. It's by Nos, and it goes, "I shoot slugs from my brain just like a rifle."
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah. That's what it says right there.
Can you read it one more time?
I shoot slugs from my brain just like a rifle.
So he's got really powerful thoughts.
Yeah, I'll let you think about that.
That was a good one.
I hope you know that slugs. He doesn't mean the animal.
No.
Okay, there's a bullet.
Yeah, bullet.
Slug.
Yeah. No, that's
Big
not as
fat bullet.
entertaining as that's not as entertaining of a picture in my brain.
As the slugs coming out of a guy's head.
Okay, hold on. I have like a.
I feel like I'm gonna get made fun of because I said Nas, but it's Nos.
Well, whatever. He was weird. I'm gonna make fun of you for even bringing him up.
Say NASA your business, huh?
Okay. Mine is from, I've done this. This is the third lyric from the same song that I've done, but it's just full of good ones.
You ever gonna choose a new song?
No.
Okay.
I've done different songs, but
Oh.
this is just the third one specifically. Drake says it. Naturally, my favorite guy. And says, "If you ain't been a part of it, at least you got to witness."
What does that mean?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Significance happening right now.
Really?
Yeah.
By who?
You.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think
Did I?
I think
No,
you
have
did.
not.
Yeah.
Did I really? That's embarrassing.
That's why you gotta choose
No,
another
I didn't.
song.
I didn't do because last week I did Tennessee Orange.
Yeah,
No,
you
he
did.
did
Oh, you
Tennessee
did do
Orange.
Tennessee
Yeah.
Orange.
Well, one of the I think episode 4. I think.
Frick.
Nobody will.
That's
I heard
embarrassing.
it recently while I was editing.
Okay, then I'll do a different one. I have a few written down. This one's also by Drake. It goes like, it's a different song though. Grab the top spot like Pardon My Reach.
You've done that one as well.
No, I have not done that one. I have not done that one. No.
No.
Do you want me
Well,
to say it
you
one more
might-
time before you? Okay.
Yeah.
Grab the top spot like Pardon My Reach.
Like, I'm about to be more famous than you, so sorry.
Significance.
Yep.
Boom.
Boom.
Okay, mine comes from a song. I was driving to Tulare, driving to work last year. Kira shared a Spotify song with me, and I'm like, okay, I'll listen to it. I was bawling my eyes out before I got to work and had to like get it together. And she graduates next week. So the lyrics come from that song. And it's, in case you don't live forever, let me tell you now, I love you more than you can ever wrap your head around. In case you don't live forever, let me tell you the truth. I'm everything that I am because of you.
Oh, that's cool.
That was
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
And your daughter sent it. That's just.
So every time and I've been thinking about that song because she graduates soon.
I'm glad that you went last.
Yeah,
Me
'cause-
too.
Yeah.
That was good.
Mine was very thoughtful.
It
you know?
was thoughtful.
Ours, both of ours were.
Yeah. It was thoughtful. Well,
It's been such a pleasure. It's
Yeah.
it's such
Thanks,
an honor
guys.
to
It was
have
so
you.
fun.
And the fact that you are passionate about just developing each of us is
I love you guys.
so fun.
we love you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are great.
Yeah.
All right.
You're great.
Thank you.
You're great too. You're great too.
Woo.
All right. Well, let's do it. Until next time on episode 7. This is the Not So Real Estate Podcast. See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. That's a wrap. That was good. You did so good.